There's always been a ton of appreciation for dudes who are built different, but what about appreciation for the dudes who are built wrong? The kind of people that go out there and just do not belong in what they are doing in any way, shape, or form.
There is no meme. This is just a threat.
Gag characters are mostly in the domain of fighting games. In fact, when you hear the term gag character, Street Fighter's Dan Hibiki is probably the first one to come to your mind, and there's a good reason for that. Fighting games' large roster sizes allow it to spend slots on dumb things that other genres wouldn't. Fighting games can go, let's put a lawyer in a fighting game where you punch Spider-Man, and no one's gonna bat an eye because there are so many other characters that actually belong punching Spider-Man. That's not to say that RPGs haven't been able to dip their toes in gag characters either. After all, Final Fantasy IX did have a gender-fluid swamp chef who spends their time eating frogs and then has a spell that gets more powerful the more frogs they've eaten. But most gag characters can still do something. There is merit to putting Kina in your party. There is merit to picking Robo-Kai. I want a gag character that actively handicaps you. A joke that is just that. A joke. And if you seriously try to use this character, you are only making things harder for yourself. And if I want to do that, I have to turn to a hamster with a hat. Shining Force is a Sega Genesis strategy RPG, and it's fairly simple in what it wants to do. You go and do fights on a grid, you cast your attacks and spells, and then you go on to the next grid. It's fairly simple, but still a very enjoyable time, and has an emphasis on exploration, with a lot of items and characters being completely missable forever if you don't explore and find them. And one of those characters is the hamster Yogurt. He appears on the first chapter of the game, staring off into the distant shores, saying, "Protagonist, I've been waiting for you." And then he vanishes for 3 chapters of the game, which is about 12 battles. You find him again in the beginning of chapter 4, where he's off to the top left of the map, and then he just joins your squad. See, normally in Shining Force, when people join you, there's a little jingle. But with Yogurt, there's nothing. You just see him do his little dance in the top left of the map, and then you go into your headquarters and he's just sitting there, like he was always a part of your army. And if you look at him, you'll notice that you have just recruited God. All of his stats are 1. He has 1 attack, 1 defense, 1 HP, 1 agility, though his movement is 7, so a Fire Emblem fan would probably call him B tier. His class is Yogurt, a class that does not allow him to equip any weapons. You cannot change his stats at all. You can promote him, but the Yogurt class promotes into Yogurt and gets no stat increases. He is stuck permanently at garbage. So, what do? Well, you can have him walk up and headbutt things. He'll only ever really do 1 damage every single time. And so, you might ask yourself, what is the purpose here? What is the joke with Yogurt? Well, if you somehow manage to get a kill with Yogurt, he will manifest a Yogurt ring from thin air. And what does the Yogurt ring do? It turns your other units into Yogurt. They keep their stats, they keep their abilities, their spells, they can do everything that they would normally do, except they're now Yogurt. You just turned a centaur into a hamster. Does this yield any benefit whatsoever? No. No. In fact, it's kind of a detriment, because if your unit has the Yogurt ring equipped, they can't equip any other rings, and there are a lot of useful stat boosting rings that you are just robbing yourself of the ability to use. However, Yogurt rings are infinite. Yogurt will always generate a Yogurt ring when he kills something. so you can farm these up for all they're worth. All 29 coins worth of gold, which is less than you get for killing pretty much every single enemy in the game. However, they are infinite, so if you take enough time, you can raise an entire army of yogurts. Again, this does nothing, but you are now fighting an evil dark dragon of centuries of power with a bunch of hamsters. And if that isn't the greatest thing in anything you've ever played, I don't want to hear it. RPGs don't often waste an entire character slot on a gag, more so just an item, like the accessory in Symphony of the Night that does nothing other than make Alucard slightly taller, so it's nice to see that Yogurt is just a waste of a slot, and for that reason, he's the most important slot. He's not the only RPG character that's just a joke, there are plenty of others. Delibird from Pokemon being a Santa Claus monster that has no attacks other than giving your opponent a present that sometimes doesn't even damage them is another great joke, and I'd like to hear your favorite joke characters in the comments below, because I really want to hear about all of the best jokes that JRPGs have given us, and because I need this video to hit 8 minutes in order to give it a mid-roll ad, so I needed to put something at the end to fluff up the end of the video without actually acknowledging that Yogurt himself really only takes about 4 minutes to talk about. So I just need to keep running my mouth for another minute or so, just so I can squeeze more money out of you. It's really greedy, it's completely shameless, but you gotta understand, I'm greedy. And I'm shameless, so I have absolutely no moral objections to just talking for so long. I didn't even really make new footage for this video. I'm just putting footage of my old Shining Force Let's Play in the background. I don't even care enough to get fresh footage. It'd be so easy. Shining Force is available on, like, everything. I have it on my Switch, I have it on my PC. I could easily get it from either of those sources, and I'm just not. Why record new footage when old footage do trick? It's just that easy. Alright, I think I've wasted enough time. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video, which may or may not have even less effort than this one.